The Arsenal manager was a calming influence at a stormy shareholders meeting on Thursday when he said his own position would be reviewed at the end of the season. Now Arsene Wenger, for his 800th Premier League game, keeps the team which won handsomely at Everton, which means Ozil, Sanchez and Lacazette start together at the Emirates for the first time. Swansea again go 3-5-2 away from home. They're without the injured Martin Olsen, Wilfried Bony and Renato Sanchez, but they have won on 3 of their last 5 visits to the Emirates. Arsenal moved into the top 6 with that victory at Everton last week. They've won their last 9 Premier League games at the Emirates. Tammy Abraham. Klukas has made a good run. Sam Klukas has scored for Swansea City with their first dangerous attack. And on the ground where they've won on 3 out of 5 visits, they take the lead again. And the goal scorer, Sam Klukas, already in the record books. He's scored in 5 divisions in his short career, a product of the Glenn Hoddle Academy, who came to Swansea from Hull City, but he serviced several other clubs along the way. And here he penetrates the Arsenal defence. A lovely run and a great ball played by Abraham inside Bellerin, and well finished by Klukas. It's Arsenal 0, Swansea 1. Those from South Wales quite delighted. Well, Arsene Wenger on his feet here, not always the case, but looks a little concerned about Arsenal's inability to find a way through this Swansea defence. Sanchez, on the back here. Oh, what a good save by Fabianski. Sanchez, the best effort of the first half, really, for Arsenal. Typical of him, the way he got that 1-2 played, and then fearful shot with his right foot and fearlessly saved by the goalkeeper. Well, Arsenal fans know all about Lucas Fabianski, and in the last 2 seasons he's been a pillar of consistency in goal for Swansea. Oh, that was hesitation by Mertesacker. Oh, all over the place. Ayew! And the Swansea players hold their heads. That could and should have been 2-0. What on earth was Mertesacker doing? The chance fell to Jordan Ayew, and if he'd put that away, Swansea would have gone in at half-time 2 goals to the good. When Arsene Wenger took over at Arsenal in 1996, Swansea were 86th in the Football League, nearly at the bottom of the 4th division. In fact, you may remember how they almost went out the Football League, and now look where they are. They're in their 7th season in the Premier League. Ozil still trying to prize an opening here, Arsenal. Maybe this is it. It's Lacazette. Oh, Ozil couldn't get there. Here's Kolasinac! The big Bosnian has done it. It's the equaliser. Just the shaft of daylight that Arsene Wenger was looking for 5 minutes into the second half. Well, it's taken a long time for Arsenal to find a way through, but here some quick interpassing, 1 or 2 deflections, but my goodness, no doubting the ferocity or the accuracy of the shot from Kolasinac. Now the Emirates comes to life. Fans were getting a bit frustrated in the first half, but it's a different game now. Tammy Abraham. Fur. Inside by Carroll to Klukas, offside. Abraham offside. It would have been a different game if that one had been allowed, wouldn't it? Tammy Abraham, well, I think he is offside just behind Mertesacker. The flag was certainly up straight away. Well, no sign yet of Jack Wilshere for Gareth Southgate to have a look at. He'll have made 1 or 2 other notes, perhaps. Abraham's not done at all badly, the Swansea low knee from Chelsea. And that was a touch by Lacazette and a foul by Van der Horn on Ramsey. Sanchez places the ball for the free kick. Sanchez curls it in, or Koscielny was there. Close. He's picked up a lot of goals like that over the years, Laurent Koscielny, for Arsenal. Ozil. Xhaka. And on this side again, Kolasinac pulls it back this time. Oh, it's in. Aaron Ramsey. It's 2-1 Arsenal. And Arsene Wenger might well feeling a whiff of relief here. Ramsey backing up the attack. Kolasinac, it's a nice pullback, and Ramsey tucked it in via the right foot of a slightly unlucky Fabianski here. But it's in the net from Ramsey, and Arsenal lead 2-1. And it's a very different picture with 12 minutes gone in the second half. Arsenal have gone from a goal down to 2-1 up. That's been very much the pattern of their recent games. Here's Ayew. And he's forced a corner off Mertesacker. Xhaka. And, a real old tangle there, and I thought Mawson was going to get a shot in, but Arsenal can break here. It's 4 against 4. Sanchez is over on this side. Bellerin is down the far side now, having given the pass. Here comes Ramsey. Curls it in. Oh, and they never recovered from that, Swansea. Bellerin was involved twice. Couldn't quite finish it, but talk about stretching the defence. Arsenal had 4-on-4 here, and when the ball came over this side, Ramsey promptly chipped it back for Bellerin to hit the bar. Very, very close to number 3.
I knew that Swansea had only conceded 1 goal away from home since the start of the season, so we were tight defensively. And in the first half, our pace of the game was not sharp enough. Our passing was good, but not penetrative enough. And we need to up the tempo a little bit and change quicker sides, and overall in the second half was much better.
We'll play other games at that level and win them. So, yeah, of course, it's a frustrating time in terms of the results. I saw some, really good things in our performance today. So that's not a bad performance. Some of our games recently we've not performed well and we've lost. But we can draw on some positives from that. We've come to a big ground, given them a good game, given them a tough game. Now we have a very important game at home, and that's really where we need to turn it around, our home form.
We want to make the Emirates a fortress, and we managed to do that again today, keep up our 100% record here. So, it was important to go the goal and to get the win.
There is Arsene Wenger, 800 games, just 10 behind Sir Alex Ferguson, and a win to boot. A good week, in fact, for Arsene Wenger. All in all, a new cult hero as well, of course, at the Emirates in Kolasinac.
He's a character, yeah, that's for sure.
A real bargain, a free.
That is as good as you'll get on a free. I mean, he's powerful. He's got a great left foot. I like his confidence, his positivity. I mean, you can see this from the touch map, that how far forward he likes to get. It's obviously easier when you're playing in a 5, as a wing back. But his desire to get forward and cause problems is good, and he's skillful. He sees things. I mean, he drags this one in a second now, but it's showing his intent. I mean, this is the left wing back in the striking position, and he carried on. He just kept going forward. His awareness of other players around him was really impressive as well. These nice little touches, things like the back heel like that. It's actually nice seeing, especially from a wing back position, someone who, when he gets so high up the pitch, really comfortable with the ball. I mean, this is fantastic. Watch this for a little bit. Yeah. And can you produce when you get in the final third as a wing-back or as a midfield player? Well, I think this is a terrific finish. Being calm in those areas, because in the Arsenal side, when they're playing well, you're going to get balls, you're going to get fed. And that was a terrific pick out for Ramsey. And Good week for Arsenal.
Yeah, 3 times, in fact, this week they've come from behind. Now, they've been accused by some of lacking cojones. Does this kind of show that they have got a bit of character in this side?
Well, it's a positive, but they've come from behind the teams you'd expect them to be beaten. We'll find out a bit more about their character in their next 2 league games, City away and Tottenham at home.
Bit begrudging there, aren't
Not at all, no. As I said, it was a positive, but we'll find out a little bit more in the next couple of weeks.
You know, Swansea, bit better performance from them, even though, obviously, no points.
They've been great on the road, but at home they've really struggled. I don't know why. They've got to address that quickly.
Certainly have. Manchester United and Spurs were level on points and leading the chase behind Manchester City in the day's early game. No Harry Kane for the visitors. The England striker had a hamstring injury. Jonathan Pearce was at Old Trafford.
Eric Bailly is fit again for Manchester United, and Jones, injured last week at Huddersfield, pass fit, so they'll go to a back 3 to match Spurs. Mkhitaryan and Rashford also record. They've won just 2 of their last 11 against top 6 opponents. Dyer and Sissoko add defensive strength for Spurs. Sanchez rotated to the bench. They look for a 7th away league win in a row, only a 3rd here in 29 years. Over half a century and more of match of the day, Manchester United-Tottenham has always been one of the glamour games in a season. Mkhitaryan bundled over by Sissoko. Clumsy. And we know there's dynamite in the boots of Marcus Rashford. Hit it well. Awkward for Lloris. Decent save. Awkward flight here for the goalkeeper. It wobbled, it dipped, it bounced. Monsieur Pochettino building. A very good club at Tottenham Hotspur. Son. Davis. Back to Son. And De Gea, collides with Jones. Dele Alli back to Sissoko, and he wasted it. In a game where opportunities have been very few and far between, the collision for Manchester United presented Spurs with the chance. Communication problem, he called. The ball slithered out of the goalkeeper's reach, and he got lucky. Big opportunity for Spurs. Ali. Off to Winks. Son. Sissoko back to him. Aurier's onside, checks back, and the cross loops off Young, who immediately looks to a flag that didn't come. It's a corner for Spurs. He's onside. The moment Aurier checked back, they lost the chance here, Tottenham. Alderweireld goes to the near post. Will it drop back to him? Lukaku half cleared. And the shot in the end by Dyer. Hooked it round. Clutched easily by David De Gea. The game's short on creativity at the moment. And a foul on Dele Alli. And Manchester United are feeling more and more aggrieved. He withdrew his foot there, Phil Jones. It wasn't a foul. The losers here today can now find themselves 8 points adrift of Manchester City. Matic creeping forward. What a poor header away there by Davis. Mkhitaryan might have got a shot away. Tries to wriggle his way through, does so. Lloris has filled it! And Davis gets it away for Tottenham Hotspur. It was his initial error that gave Manchester United the possibility to build. Matic. Mkhitaryan, more in the game in this second half. It's through Lloris, and Davis will get it away, and Manchester United are getting closer. There's the error by Davis. But he gets back so well to rescue them. Mkhitaryan wriggled, poor goalkeeping. And that's the second one. Lloris got something on that. And whatever he said at half-time has worked thus far in this second period. Lovely flick by Martial. Quickly onto it was Matic. Lukaku isolated one-on-one. Dyer's getting back in there. Vertonghen goes to ground. Lukaku flashed it. And Valencia's first to the ball now. Danger's not over for Spurs. Under Herrera. Here's Matic. Tried to get beyond Dembele. Who then got across. Blocked Manchester United player who screams at him. And it's a yellow card for Valencia, who seemed to me to run into the Tottenham man. Lukaku whipped this through. It's a good save. So important to win this one, to stop the gap between Manchester City and the chasers widening. And on the other hand, so important not to lose the game. Spurs will be happier with the point. Eriksen looks in for Dele Alli, who flicked it beyond the keeper but beyond the goal. Lovely move by Spurs, their best of the game. Lovely float on the ball. Awkward chance. The defender was there with him, the goalkeeper was coming out. The best we've seen from Spurs. 100% away in the league this season. Unbeaten in 6 away from Wembley in all competitions. Manchester United do not have a good record of victories against top 6 opponents. 2 in their last 11 meetings against top 6 sides, but they look for Lukaku, off the post! The cross was curling away towards him invitingly, and he met it powerfully enough, and he headed it down. He didn't do really anything wrong, except hit the back of the net. Manchester United's best effort. Conditions really haven't helped. They've cancelled each other out so far. 10 home draws last season for Manchester United undermine their campaign. Can they win this now? Yes, they can, it will see. Anthony Martial brought off the bench to do just that. Puts them ahead. 9 minutes to play. Old Trafford erupts. There were groans from the fans that De Gea was taking his time over this. Lukaku won it. And Martial had the pace and the determination to get beyond Dyer. It's his first goal since he netted at CSKA Moscow back in September. To do him the world of good. And him. Tottenham defending a 100% away record this season. So they've got a lot of work to do now. That's a foul. Harry Winks was tripped. Eriksen with it. Goalkeeper Kane didn't get there. Smalling was in his way. Here's Dyer. And Manchester United clear it away. Lingard all alone, being chased by Eriksen. Can he finish the game off? Not like that. A 2-0 Manchester United victory would have been flattering. It stays Manchester United 1, Tottenham 0.
Both teams, they try to win, but I think both teams, they fear the opponent because the opponent could hurt at any moment. So I think tactical game with emotion, with everything good.
Very disappointed because I like the player, because the effort was amazing, and I think the game was even and losing that way always is painful, but move on.
How significant was it that you went to a 3?
Well, it's what the manager worked on. He played that at Swansea in midweek, and he wanted to play that formation today, and we're more than capable of adapting to that system, and I think it paid off today.
Any team in the world would miss Harry Kane.
Harry Kane is one of the best strikers in the world, but I think the team is ready to fight. Last season we spent many time without Harry Kane, and the team compete very good. But of course, always you are going to miss your best striker.
It'll do him the world of good, that goal, won't it?
Sometimes beautiful shots are not so beautiful, and sometimes bad shots are genius. And this, of course, is a bad shot. I think he's a little bit with a shin pad, I don't know, but was not for sure. But the movement, the position, the desire to go behind was very, very good, and I think we deserve that victory.
Well, that goal came obviously quite late in the game. Wasn't much to excite us about before. That wasn't the greatest exhibition ever, but a vital win for Manchester United nevertheless.
Yeah, big win. I think it was a game they had to win. There was nothing in the game, as you rightly say, and it was a poor game. Up until 78 minutes, Dele Alli had a big opportunity. Yeah. 2 minutes after that, United go up the other end. They hit the post with Lukaku. 2 minutes after that, this happens. big punt up the field, flick on, brilliant run from Martial. And yes, it's a bit of a scuff, but he won't care. But Tottenham are all over the place defensively. You've got Davis, Vertonghen, Dyer and Alderweireld. They're all out of position. They all should be 5 yards further inside to mark their men. They don't sniff danger at all. Lukaku shoves Toby off the ball there. Get off, I'm going to win the ball. But what they don't do, again, is Dyer doesn't smell the danger. He's got to expect Lukaku to win that ball, and he's got to cover. And he didn't cover at all. By the time he realises it's too late. As I said, he's got to expect him to win that ball, so he's got to run in behind. He's got to expect the danger. He didn't. Now he does. It's too late. He's too weak. And that's cost him the game. We don't sit and criticise Tottenham very much defensively, but they were all over the place there for that goal, and that's ultimately cost them 3 points.
Well, it certainly has. Anthony Martial came on there. I mean, Jose, he's a little bit disgruntled. He showed his kind of impatience, his frustration at the crowd's reaction to one or two things. We can see images of him shushing the crowd and stuff. I suppose managers can't win in some ways, can they? When they're a bit defensive, and they've got a really good defensive record that Jose's got, people criticise him for not being expansive enough. We've seen people be critical of Klopp and at times Guardiola because they're too expansive. They can't win, can they?
It is hard because obviously the neighbours in Manchester are playing such expressive football, but he's never liked his teams being criticised. Never. And he does. I think he's somebody who likes being miserable generally, and especially with the press. But
he likes being miserable.
Yeah, but exactly like myself. But what I would say is, it's not as easy as it looks to play defensive football and have the best defence in the Premier League. Yeah. And they have. Yeah. So, you know, it's what you like watching, isn't it? Yeah. Not everybody's the same. We're all different, Gary, you know?
Yeah, of course we are. We're looking at Tottenham side. Pochettino, he's got a lot of plaudits for his football, but do you think perhaps he got his team selection wrong today?
I thought they missed a trick in the week also, because that is probably the best chance of winning a trophy in the week, and he changed the team around again. And I was very surprised today that he didn't play Llorente. You pay a lot of money for him to bring him in because of the situation with Harry Kane when he's injured. Yeah. So I was amazed he didn't start him today. Also, Davinson Sanchez didn't play either, which is a big surprise because he's been doing reasonably well.
Judged by the results in the end, that's for sure. 2 games on Match of the Day 2 this week.
Okazaki turns it in. Wayne Rooney. Oh, he's done it again. A brilliant night for Brighton. Buffal still going. Oh, he scored.
Match of the Day 2 Extra World Preview. All the action on BBC 2 at 12:15. The Women's Football Show follows Match of the Day 2 on BBC 1. Keep up to date with the latest action from the Rugby League World Cup on BBC 2 at 5. The NFL Show is next, and there's live American football tomorrow as well from Wembley. Cleveland versus Minnesota.
And here's goal. Yes! Oh, that's wonderful. Scholes! What a goal! This is very much in David Beckham territory.
Lots of room for Philip Neville. Cole near post. York behind him! Oh! Classic!
Always good to hear Barry Davis. The great man turned 80 this week. Many happy returns, Barry. Last week's win at Stoke wasn't enough to lift Bournemouth out of the bottom 3. They faced champions Chelsea, who began the day 9 points behind Manchester City. Steve Wilson was at the Bet365 Stadium.
Well, it's a week early to be thinking about treason and plot, but talk of player unrest and the mention of Carlo Ancelotti certainly brought an explosive response from Antonio Conte yesterday. Eddie Howe is approaching 350 games as Bournemouth boss, not a tally that many will match in the modern day. He's gone with a back 3, Steve Cook coming in, and a front 2, Jermaine Defoe back from a hamstring problem, partnering Benik Afobe. Chelsea make one change to the team which beat Watford. Gary Cahill moves to the bench, and David Zabacosta earning his first Premier League start. Pedro, good change of pace, got him away from Ake. Wild shot at the end of it. Really accelerated away from Nathan Ake. He was well off target with a shot, which left him puffing his cheeks. This is his 55th game in charge of Chelsea, Antonio Conte. He's won 41 of the previous 54. Stanislas Afobe. Benik Afobe here for Bournemouth. Will he let rip? He's looked for Daniels. Afobe blocked. Well, Afobe had a choice to make, whether to smash it with his left or look to the man outside him. He went for the latter option. Given the choice again, he might choose the former. Francis. Ooh, Begovic straight to Eden Hazard. Trouble here. Morata. He's put it wide. Well, I don't know what is the more surprising, the mistake from Begovic or the miss by Morata. It's a terrible clearance from Begovic straight to Eden Hazard. Morata can't believe he didn't put it away. Big let off that for Bournemouth. Towards Zappacosta. Ake behind for the corner. A few eyebrows raised when Chelsea allowed Nathan Ake to leave. Bournemouth tried very hard to get him permanently last January when he was back at Chelsea after a successful loan spell. That's a little ball in, and the flag's up on this near side. It's not going to count. Morata left frustrated for the second time, this time by the flag. Here it is. Luis hits it there. Is Azpilicueta offside there? It's so tight, but I think he is. Well, they're holding firm, but they're certainly feeling the heat at the moment from Chelsea. Eddie Howe's Bournemouth. Hazard. Morata. Good turn into space. Good save. Not his day so far. Really good save here by Begovic. Good turn by Morata. Needed a really good stop by Asmir Begovic. Though they've created the best chances in this game, it's been a long way short of Chelsea's best performance under Antonio Conte. There's a mistake. Francis couldn't get it. Eden Hazard has and scores. Eden Hazard gives Chelsea the lead. Well, Begovic will not be happy to be beaten at his near post. Simon Francis will not be happy either. It was his error. And Eden Hazard took full advantage. Francis out of position, couldn't recover, and Begovic not covering his near post. Driven hard and low in exactly the spot he was looking at. It's not like he gave the keeper the eyes or anything. Stanislas. And again. Oh, he got a bit lucky there, Stanislas. He's found Jordan Ibe. Oh, and just over. Real chances for Jordan Ibe. Stanislas there got lucky with the double deflection, which brought it back into his path. Well, Defoe certainly would not have enjoyed being taken off at half-time. Hazard, Bakayoko, Azpilicueta. Good movement by Pedro, can go back into Eden Hazard. The pass from Pedro was just a little behind Eden Hazard, but he just had to drag his boot back to reach the ball. Hence it was high. Zappacosta to Bakayoko. Oh, robbed well by Lewis Cook. Here's Callum Wilson into Jordan Ibe. Trying to beat Rudiger, which he did, and almost onto the end of it. Callum Wilson denied by the block. Now here's Simon Francis dispossessing Eden Hazard. Lewis Cook did well not to lose it to Bakayoko. Real impetus now for Bournemouth. Jordan Ibe tried a little drag back and didn't make contact with the ball. Francis gone straight to Pedro. Important block here. Really good stuff by Azpilicueta. Given their league position, Bournemouth's next 4 against Newcastle, Huddersfield, Swansea and Burnley look like a very important run of fixtures indeed. Well won that by Bakayoko, really good challenge. Here goes Marcos Alonso for Chelsea. Eden Hazard takes it up. Fabregas is arriving. Hazard uses him, and Fabregas isn't far away from making the game safe. Good counter-attack. All started with a great challenge from Bakayoko. Fabregas aiming to bend it into that top corner. Well, stranger things have happened, but a Bournemouth equaliser would be very, very hard on Chelsea, who've been very dominant for much of the game. But here's Callum Wilson finding Jordan Ibe. Red and black shirts are plenty all of a sudden. Nice little interchange. Oh, and it's straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper. Hit it really well, Cook. And Courtois, in stoppage time, has to make his first save of the match. Well, in the end, they probably haven't posed Chelsea enough problems over the course of 90-odd minutes.
When you have a lot of chances to score, I think that you must do it. And then to keep the result only 1-0 can be dangerous. I think we deserve to win because we played a good football.
We were resilient today. First half, I don't think we were very good. We were too passive, gave them too much time. They've got quality players that can hurt you, and ultimately we came in with a clean sheet at half time, but we had to change things. We did. I thought we were better for that, but the goal's a really poor one from our perspective, our goal kick, and seconds later we concede. So we're disappointed with that. Much improved second half performance, and ultimately could have got a draw in the end, but just didn't have that quality we needed.
Everybody's talking about Manchester City, but it's still very early in this season, and obviously you're Chelsea. You will believe that you can win this title again.
The season is long. You never know what can happen. They are top of the league. They play well. They score a lot of goals, but you never know. Injury, bad form. So we will see. We want to be at the top at the end of the season. We have a lot of games to play, so we will see at the end of the season.
What a player he is, isn't he? Part of the front three as well that kind of excelled at times today, even though they probably didn't score enough goals given the amount of opportunities they had, Danny.
He's incredible, but he's also unselfish. He's very aware of other people, which is part of being a good footballer, of course. And I think with Pedro and Morata, they had a nice little understanding of each other's movements and talents, really. I mean, Pedro, I think, is one of the best in terms of running in behind, and he's a top player. But with him and Hazard and their little combos, Morata was joining in, which I was like to see, because he's only just got back in after being injured. He should have scored, actually, today. This is a great touch from Hazard. He made that look easy, and he should have scored. But he kept going. Great little touch from Hazard again. I think there was a clever turn here. Good save from Begovic. Could have had a hat-trick today, actually.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Pedro feeding Hazard here doesn't amount to anything, but the movement was fantastic again. Great run from Pedro, as I was talking about earlier. Finds his man just behind him, a couple of inches, but Hazard was the man, and in the end became the match winner, which we'll see again now. Good, I say a good pass from Morata. He knows he's there. That's the key. Yeah. Keeper will ask questions of himself, but I always think when Hazard's on the ball and playing like this, Chelsea can win games and not even play well. Yeah. And I thought Bournemouth today didn't challenge them enough, but Chelsea's front three, their movement is very hard to play.
Yeah. Important little spell coming up for Bournemouth in many ways. They're stuck down in that bottom three there. Need to get themselves out, but...
Yeah, their next 4 games, Gary, it's Newcastle, Huddersfield, Swansea and Burnley. So they've got to try and find a way to get the best out of Defoe, or whoever they're choosing to play up front. 6 goals, only Palace have scored less in the Premier League this season. And until they do that, then they will have problems.
They'll be confident next week, won't they?
What, Newcastle?
Watford began the day in the top 6 ahead of their game against Stoke, who arrived at Vicarage Road with just 1 win in their last 7. Alistair Mann, watch this one.
If Richarlison had taken the two seemingly unmissable chances that came his way while leading at Chelsea last weekend, Watford would surely now reside in the top four. Sixth position, though, is still encouraging. Marco Silva says staying up is still his target. Two changes as in come Capoue and Carrillo. Troubled by a back problem this campaign, Ryan Shawcross makes only his 5th appearance. Stoke have conceded 4 goals when he's featured, 16 in the 5 in which he hasn't. His last goal came in the win against Watford in January. 3 changes for Stoke as in come Wimmer, Sobby and Shaqiri. Stoke really are in need of a pick-me-up after a dreadful defeat really last week at home to Bournemouth. Ramadan Sobby drawing the foul from Deeney, and initially he surged forward and Deeney then just bundled him to the floor. Trying to pick out Zuma, it was over him. Here's Diouf, and he wins the game's first corner. I think he's looking towards Zuma. It's over him. Diouf keeps it alive and Capoue gets in his way. Shaqiri's delivery is to the edge where Fletcher's waiting, and that is a magnificent, well-worked goal. And that is one that goes down to work done during the week at the training ground. Fletcher controls it with a side foot. Actually, it takes a ricochet off Deeney on the way through, but that's taking nothing away from Fletcher. Stoke ahead, and a fabulous goal it was too. Cleverly. And again, Holebas. And round the back comes Carrillo, and then Richarlison's into the side netting. Far and away the best moment of the match for Watford, and Richarlison had too tight an angle and hit it into the side of the goal. Peters. Now Ramadan Sobby. On towards Allen. Shaqiri now. Good ball. Sobby is onside here. And here's Allen in a good position, and he's dragged it wide. First chance for Stoke since they scored, really. And it was well set up for Allen, who got himself 6 Premier League goals last season, far and away his best haul. And he ought to have done better with the chance that presented itself. His side have worked tirelessly to protect their lead since they grabbed it. Holebas. Diouf comes across with him and then checked his stride and gives away an indirect free kick for obstruction. Holebas with the delivery. Deeney's not going to get to that. Butland does. Cleverly thought about volleying it first time. In by Britos. Richarlison! He was onside. Stoke were looking for a flag. It didn't come. It kind of rolled off the bridge of the nose of Richarlison, and his technique betrayed him. Stoke inching ever closer to what would be a really excellent performance and victory. Berahino's making a burst forward. Shaqiri tries to pick him out, and he does do, but he can't finish Watford off. Stoke believe they should have a corner. They believe Gomez is the reason that it's not 2-0. It just brushes off the foot, actually, of Aurelio Gomez, and it stays at 1-0. Mark Hughes is becoming increasingly incensed, and so too are 1 or 2 of his players, and Diouf and Doucouré are getting involved, and out of a relatively quiet afternoon comes an explosive incident. Diouf felt that it was a foot up against him. Mark Hughes thought it was too, and it's a yellow card for Diouf and Doucouré, and Peters has now gone down with what looks like cramp. But Peters says no, they're not coming off. And now there's push and shove, and then Deeney probably goes too far with Shawcross, and well, there's been just a little undercurrent in the last few minutes of this match. Well, there's the challenge from Allen, and then Deeney gets his hands and his thumb in the cheek of Allen, and then Allen gets his arms round the neck of Deeney. Michael Oliver has got a yellow card out of his pocket, and it's for Deeney. And for Allen. Now Berahino. Aurelio Gomez has come out of his net. Adam to take him on and score a second goal. And he's missed it, has he? He has. He's hit the post. It looked easier to score. He couldn't find it. Incredible drama at the end of this game.
Great performance, and I think it's important to note that we've had a difficult start in terms of opposition that we've been up against, and when you look at our results against the same teams last year, we're actually 6 points better off in those same games. So we're not doing as bad as people are trying to make out.
New challenge for our team, okay, but because we perform well until now, and when we perform well, the other teams come here to respect more our team. They don't come to challenge the master in all the pitch. They come here to keep this position. But I think it's normal. It's because we did well until now, and we perform well, and we need to find the right solutions to create more problems for them.
How do you feel being the man who'll grab the headlines for the winning goal?
It feels great, you know. It's worked on the training ground. You see that with the celebrations, you know. The manager and Bo, the assistant, worked hard, and the manager said that he made a career at scoring volleys, so no pressure, but I managed to get a good connection, and it's nice to get the winning goal.
They all got a bit heated near the end, and Deeney's hands were around Alan's face. What was all that about?
I just think that was unfortunate. It was unnecessary. We'd obviously just put the ball out because we saw somebody was down. I'm not sure who it was. Clearly, they should have thrown the ball back to us, and they didn't. They threw it to Deeney, who was shaping up to put it into our box, which is why obviously Joe's reacted to that. I've seen pictures of the lads with thumbnails in Joe's face. It's unnecessary, and maybe needs to be looked at.
Yeah, we'll look at that in just a second, Mark. Coming into today's game, Stoke had conceded more goals than any other team in the league. They put a stop to that. Great clean sheet, and you felt that Ryan Shawcross deserves special credit.
No, I thought he was excellent today, and it was a big test for him against Troy Deeney and Richarlison, and he stood up very, very well. He got his body in front of absolutely everything, and he was a rock at the back. And there's only Palace conceded more goals than them now after 10 games. And I know he's been out injured and missed a lot of games, but they're going to have to get back to being hard to beat. And if they're going to do that, then they need this guy in the team playing like this. Great positioning, right place, right time. He flung himself in front of everything. Didn't win the first one, but I tell you what, look at the way he's out and closing down. Wins the second one. But he won't be happy with this, how easy he was knocked over there by Troy Deeney after that performance. But in all seriousness, he was absolutely fantastic.
Well, let's have a look at that a little bit closer, the Troy Deeney incident, the self-proclaimed equaliser. Roughed up Arsenal the other week, and he was certainly a bit roughing up here.
Yeah, well, he's got himself in a situation. He's got carried away. I think he's a bit of red mist. They will look at it. I'm pretty sure they will, and he'll probably get banned. I like Troy Deeney. I like everything, the way he plays the game and his attitude generally, but something's riled him there, and you can't be doing that. You can't be sticking your feet.
Bordering on romantic at the end there.
It was nice,
Gentlemen, thanks very much. We're out of time. Before we go, let's have a look at the Premier League table. Manchester City's points total after 10 games has been matched just twice before, and both of those sides went on to win the title. Manchester United are 5 points behind the leaders, while Tottenham are just a point ahead of Chelsea and Arsenal. Crystal Palace's draw leaves them 4 points from safety, while Stoke climb to 13, 3 points clear of the relegation zone. Let's see what the Sunday papers have to say. England's win at the Under-17 World Cup deservedly dominates the back pages, with the Mail hailing their epic comeback. The Telegraph highlights Jose Mourinho's criticism of Manchester United's fans, some of whom booed when he substituted Marcus Rashford. And Kevin De Bruyne is set for a bumper new contract at Manchester City, according to The Star. That's it from us. City continue to break all records, but a late winner from Tony means they're being closely marshalled by United.